Now then, welcome back to another episode on the Hypermine Infinity Evolved server. Today, I would like to get a bit more power sorted out. I'm trying to get the power room sorted, so I'm coming up with my design today. Not necessarily getting it all operational, although I would like to get a second one of these operational today. I'm kind of just figuring out the layout and the design of this particular room so that I can start adding things in as necessary. This is running super efficiently. It's producing 23,000 RF per tick, as you well know. It is full of energy, buffers all, and it's got 3 Tesseracts which are powering everything that I've got currently. And I could probably use these 3 Tesseracts to power lots and lots of power everywhere. I could power everything in like 3,000 at a tick. But that's not the plan. That's not the plan. Come back here, Sarah. Come back here. Thank you. No, come back here. Stop, I tell you. No. Okay, fine. Right, just stop, would you? Thank you. Now, come back to me. Yeah, so the plan is to build up a second big reactor in order to power the farms and the like, so that I've got all the power that I want. All the power in the world. Ha 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 ha. And to do that, I basically want to set the channels right so that I'm not going to run out of power while I'm doing my next stage. So the next stage is going to get sorted out today, hopefully. Well, at least get on to the ability to do the next stage. And this kind of finishing off job is important to me for obvious reasons. I want to finish things off. So getting this reactor room finished off is going to be a big issue for me. So I may as well make a start on it now, and that also makes sure that I've got plenty of power for all the other little projects and big projects that I've got working around the place. So today I'm going to make sure that I build as much of this as possible, so you can see the layout that I'm trying to achieve, and I just have to move that one across one, which is why I had to delete or destroy and gather all the blocks back of all the bits that I've been using, or where I put it originally, and then I can throw it all back down again and get all that sorted. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, good, good, good. And 7 wide, I know. Good, good. So just making sure that things are in the right place while I make some more materials. The materials aren't really tough to get hold of, aren't really a stretch to get hold of. I got plenty of the resources that I need. I just need to change some of the resources into the usable resources and do the basically crafting everything up. So I'm slowly but surely working through things today. But I do want to show you some bits and pieces, some odd things that I might do. But mainly I want to show you about the design of the place, how it's going to look. Rather than just showing you all the endless crafting of blocks to get it looking the way I want. I would like to increase my steam power down here and all that kind of stuff. My charcoal farm is running on full capacity. I would like to see how fast that full capacity can fill all these steam tanks and operate all these generators. I'd like to see a breaking point. And then when I hit a breaking point, I will probably turn one of the reactors off and just use the other ones. For this season, anyway. But it's quite a set of big reactors I'm going to have by the end of it. I just need at least one more working big reactor. I don't really need these reactors to be working, but I've got the materials to make them properly. And I would like some more steam being produced and get all this lower level sorted out. So a little bit more crafting, a little bit more sorting out, and I'll show you what blocks I'm using for the build. Well, it's pretty nice and laid out now. I've managed to get all the tanks in places and laid out where I want all the big reactors to go. I've mostly finished this big reactor, other than the coils, the Enderium coils, which I'm going to need a little bit of a machine setup for, because it takes a very, very long time to make a single piece of Enderium, so I need a machine setup. I'm back at the crafting Silicon Valley area. But before I go over and do that, I just wanted to have a little test, a little look around, and see about making a design for the walls. And because it's going to be huge walls, I really want to make it a simplistic design. So what I've done so far is factory blocked all the way around the outside. So that's like the final edge, near enough, right? I want to do some fancy bits and pieces around some other areas. And I'm going to use a bit of glowstone for stuff as well. So we've got this nice, clean-looking glowstone. We've got nice, clean-looking laboratory blocks. And I believe I can do some nice, clean-looking stone blocks as well. Polished stone brick and things like that. So there's a few things. I could just go dirty as well, like stone bricks from chisel as well. There's the technical block, which has all sorts of little fans and things. So it would be nice to be able to put a few fans in and around the place. There's also this pipe block. And I'm wondering just how this goes all together. Because there's kind of vents as well. We've got vents in the laboratory blocks. And we've got some arrows and bits and pieces. We've got some information consoles. Just some bits and pieces like that. It was what I was thinking of. So, I don't know how this is going to look. But it does look very clean. Very clean indeed when it's done. So we need a clean glowstone block to go with it. I'm going to go for a beautiful clean look about the place. I'm trying my best to keep things looking very smart. Now, around the middle here, I did a forged micro-blocking of glowstone strips. And I think that's better than the solid blocks of glowstone. Because a solid block of glowstone, while it lights up the area very nicely and quickly, it does stick out like a sore thumb, doesn't it? Stick out quite a bit. And it gives me glowstone back. Okay, so laboratory blocks. I guess I would have a level of laboratory blocks next to the elevators. I'm going to have an elevator on each of the north, south, east, west, and in the middle to take me up, down, and left and right and through. And on that side, I'm virtually on the right place just to put some stairs going straight out. But also the elevator block so that I can come back down to it afterwards. So the elevator area is kind of an important section. Because I'm going to see it on the way in and out every time. So I'm doing my experimenting over this side. So that side's still my way in and out. So nice clean look on the sides here. They've got the smoky steam tanks all the way around. You've got a darker block here that's kind of pure and clear and clean. And that's good. I like that. So I like these laboratory blocks. So I'm going to be using some more of the laboratory blocks along here. At least the first level of them, at least, yeah? At least the first layer. That'll do. Okay. And it would be nice to be able to mix these technical blocks in. But they don't really kind of work, do they? What's going on there? It's just square? Square pattern? Aha. Does do some, but you have to have the whole thing set up like that. Okay. So without doing a certain area, I'm not going to be able to get the pattern in place unless I do it en masse like that. Yeah, and I don't want the whole wall looking like that. So they're not an option. They're out. They're gone. But at least they do look cool. And there's certain environments where they look really cool. So we get those out. And let's see about the other bits and pieces we can do with this. The fans. So let's have a look at some transparent fans against this stuff here. I'm putting them in the wrong place now. Okay. Transparent fans. Don't look too bad. Don't look too bad. I don't mind that at all. These little grills. We could have little grills going up there like that. Yeah. Could have some grills around the place. That would look okay. We could maybe do even some longer ones going around the outside. I could maybe even do the whole area, one row all the way around just doing the grills, just to see what that looks like. Kind of a grill running around, yeah, and then another laboratory block above. Maybe the occasional information panel just sticking out there. It does seem to suit a longer section, but I feel like that should be a little bit closer together. So let's take those back. Let's try the information panel in the center again, but this time have a few bits like this around it, like so. They don't join up in the up ways though, so it's not going to work there. But I could also use the arrow block, this one, and also the other one. I'm going to have so many different varieties of things to play with soon. There we go, that one. And then kind of wrap that around with this. So we end up with a full-on panel every now and again in places. So panels and potentially fans just around this lower level. Maybe the fans higher up. And then throw in some other bits and pieces. We don't like that technical block, so maybe something else that has some kind of connected texture. An old relic, no. Don't want the old relics. Technical block. Mag battery. That's quite a cool looking technical block. Does it go with this lab blocks though? It does go around it quite nicely, and it'll go with all of this steel. So it might be that I could put a level like this around. Does remind me of the tanks that I did down there, though. Be nice to have some piping and stuff going up and down and around the place. That would be cool. And you can get that in the different sets for chisel as well, so that would be awesome. What's that one like? It doesn't look great on its own as a single block. And it doesn't really have much in a way of connecting texture. But it might look okay for going up the center of the elevator blocks. I've got no real depth in this though. That's an issue. I've got no real like sticking out bits. And I don't particularly want sticking out bits, but still. Maybe if I had like something like that on the edges of the areas like this, just to give me almost kind of like a beams or pipes that are holding up the ceiling. That might kind of work as well. So kind of a mixture between these sort of things is what I'm looking for, what I'm after. What else have we got in this range? We've also got these kind of blocks, which are quite cool looking, and they might work for a nice upright, kind of holding things together as well. So I can get some depth into my walls like this, and I can have some individual sections like this that look okay. I think the majority of it will be plain laboratory block. So I'll end up with the plain laboratory block on the floor and on the walls, like so. But every now and again, I'll put in some detail. And I suppose, because I've got such a large area, I don't want to cram the detail all in like this. I don't want detail crammed into it. There's also factory blocks, which have a lot of nice detail as well. These guys here. Let's take one of those. There's a lot of options with factory blocks as well. So I like all these pipes and things as well. These kind of factory blocks look really good in rusty old areas. But it just feels like it's too dark and dreary and dank. That's a new one, I think. Vertical venting. I think that's a new one. I haven't seen that one before. Let's have a look, see what it looks like in amongst this sort of stuff. Well, it doesn't really catch the eye so much as anything. Yeah, more just the fans every now and again would work. So yeah, I've got a few different ideas for these kind of sections to go all the way around. If you've got any ideas, leave them in the comments below, and I'll be sure to have a look at them before I start work on it properly next episode. Hopefully I'll have a fair amount done. I don't know. Maybe next episode we'll be doing something completely different. But at least we can get started on these areas. It might be worth having that kind of detailed area in the corners. Because in the straight sets, right between these two, you're not really going to be able to see anything. Same over this side, you're not really going to be able to see anything. So maybe having the detail in the corners may be good. Yeah, it don't look too bad. I mean, I don't think I like these bits up here. I don't really particularly like these bits at all, up this section. Don't mind them as a pillar, but I don't particularly like them as a row. So rows are out, pillars are in. That's what I say. So there we go, like that. And this thing, yeah, it reminds me too much of the tanks that I've already been using. So we'll get rid of those. And almost for definite, gonna have lots and lots of these. Lots and lots of them. Yeah, that's probably something like, yeah, it just looks cleaner, and then the detail of the other blocks will stand out a lot more. I can also put other things in as well. I can put other blocks. It doesn't have to be chisel blocks. I can use scaffolding from IC2 or pipes from Ender.io or anything, even if it doesn't really need it. I can throw it in just to make it look good. And I think that looks okay. Yeah, I think that looks okay. Alright, so I've got to get a little bit more work done, and I've got a little bit of automation to get sorted out for the Enderium stuff, and I'll be back. Alrighty then, so I've built up the laboratory blocks all the way around the outside to give us a nice clean looking place with the yeah, I didn't want to do that, did I? The steam all in the tanks, all down below, and the smoky white of everything. It's all going to look a very clean and laboratory, hygienic look about the place. And I'm going to install some more of these kind of platforms and blocks around. But I didn't want to do it around the actual areas themselves, the turbines themselves. So I'm changing it up a little bit. I'm going to add in a walkway up above at this level, where I've got the elevator blocks going all the way through from the different levels, so I can change levels as I need to. And I want to try and get some kind of walkway through from there, and I'm not sure if this factory block is going to look good or whether I should stick to just one factory block design. Yeah, it doesn't quite work for me. No, it doesn't work for me. Okay, so I'm going to also do some other bits and pieces which will revolve around going down into the lower depths of the place. So, to begin with, let's do a little run around these, and that can be a good start. Yeah. What I do on this slightly upper floor, I don't know. I might just bring the laboratory blocks up and then cap it off. This could be like in the ceiling of, even though I've got all that space, I don't really need all that space, do I? So I might just cap it off there like that. Another thing that I wanted to test out was the forged micro-blocking of these things, and that seems to work okay. So I'm going to grab a load of this. I'm going to keep those for now and cut them into strips like this, and then put these around the outside edge as kind of like a bumper warning sign type thing. Like warning of impending doom if you don't carefully walk around the edges here. I don't want to put a balcony area on it. I just want the overhang. I don't want people to fall off necessarily, but if I put the hazards there, then they shouldn't go towards the edge. They should be more careful. And with that, I'm also going to cut some of these up to make these a smaller block as well. Did I just lose my... Yeah, every time I lose that forged microblock, that's it, cutting. The thing itself falls out of my hand every time. So we're going to go with half blocks there, so it comes out from it. And then maybe it's worth changing it up, changing it to a different kind of block. because that's when we are turning it into the walkway. I would potentially like to use glass, but still, this factory block here, this venting thing might look cool as a stair, because once we cut this, we should just end up with the top of it. I got a kind of an issue with the thing there. Hang on. See what we got. See if we can place this on this way around. Yeah, we get the purple and black. No texture shown. Okay, so they don't all work properly. This is a brand new one, I guess. The new design block. So that's no good to us. So I guess then we will just have to use some of these other more regular used blocks. The blue one might work, because the blue one and this one have been in the game for a long time. Well, in Chisel for a long time, so they probably have textures. Yeah, they do. That's good. So we might do that. And then maybe make it slightly smaller. Make it an actual little runway, like so, and put that on here, like that. See, kind of. It's kind of working for me. And then when it gets to these points here, I want to have, I don't know, maybe a ladder going up or down. So I'll make it a carpenter's ladder going up and down to these platforms, just so that I can go in even when I'm not flying, and just sort of like walk off the edge, go down. And we'll have the whole, it looks fairly industrial, but up in the rafters is where you access the turbines. So I've got that idea as well to go through. I can place a torch on there to keep it right for now. So I'll mess around with that a little bit more. I'll mess around with taking it higher up a little bit more, and I will try and come up with some features around the area, like this kind of features, just for making this very blank wall look a little bit more interesting here and there. But I do want to spread them out, I think, because when they're clustered together, it detracts from the whole place. And with such big walls, if I put the structures in the walls, the design, too close together, then I'm going to have to do lots and lots, and it's going to look very, very busy. So I'm going to have to spread them out and just have maybe one great big thing in a corner, and very little behind the turbines themselves, maybe some piping looking around, things like that, things just for the sake of making the place look good. But as for the rest of it, well, while I'm building this, I do really need to have my Enderium production sorted out. So my Enderium, all the parts I need to make this turbine finished, and all the other turbines, I think I need to get them started on the auto crafting. So the chances are that that will be next episode, folks. So thank you very, very much for watching another episode on the Hypermine Infinity Evolved server. I shall continue doing a little bit of building around here and try and get something feasible for you to have a look at in the next episode. Thank you, and goodbye.